Stay City apart hotels, half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
We're delighted to extend the partnership with Go Ahead Ireland. They're an organisation that serves communities all over Dublin and helps serve our club members around the county, and it's been a brilliant partnership for the last 3 years, and we're delighted to extend for a further 2 years.
Like us, Dublin GAA are embedded in their community, so it was a really natural fit. For us, it was important to find a partner that was inclusive, but also had that community identity, and that's exactly what we found in Dublin GAA. Since we started the partnership, they've been really easy to work with, and we're really excited to continue the journey together.
In those 3 years, we actually accomplished a lot with Dublin GAA. We were privileged to be able to work with both local and national charities with them, as well as working on several GAA initiatives.
This partnership allows us to support Club League and Championship with initiatives such as our Dubs TV live streaming platform. We try and stream as many games as possible, particularly during the Championship season where we can from a logistical point of view around grounds, and that is something we will continue to try and deliver over the coming years and keep enhancing Club Championship product and club leagues around the county across all 4 codes.
In the coming months, we're going to be continuing growing our services. And while we do that, that means that we'll be serving more GAA community clubs than ever before.
This year alone, we're going to be introducing the Development Fund for Accessibility as part of our partnership, which is going to see core infrastructure at Dublin GAA developed. In the summer, we're also introducing the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin LGFA Summer Skills Camps, which will be held in July and August.
As Dublin's best performing public bus operator, we're going to continue to work really hard on delivering for our customers and our communities.
My first memory of GAA would probably have been in Croke Park with my father. That would be in the early 1950s.
As a young lad brought down to watch one of my brother's matches.
Playing under 10 hurling, and I say hurling not camogie because I played on the boys team.
My feeling about the GAA was more a social one than a games one, because I thought it was a great way for all the kids to get to know each other.
Mum and Dad always brought us up to have each other's backs. We'd all go to each other's matches. No matter what we were doing or playing, we'd all support each other. I'm playing for the club 37 years I think now, but I also coach my 2 daughters' teams.
It's great. It really is a great feeling to have the kids down there. And now all of their friends are beginning to come from the same community and the same focus on the club, so it's a mirror of what happened to me in my childhood, I suppose.
We made more friends down the years and had more fun down the years than ever we would anywhere else.
Mum fostered that through us as well. She was chief bottle washer. She'd have jerseys upon jerseys out in the line. 3
of my offspring are married, and they met their better halves through the club.
The friends and relationships I got out of it. Looking back, that was really what the GAA was about. Community, about building relationships with people. My name is Mick Galvin.
My name is Mary Galvin.
My name is Phil Galvin, and my family roots are in St Bridget's GAA Club.
Stay City apart hotels, half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
Hello folks and welcome to Parnell Park for the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior 2 Football Championship semi-final clash of Whitehall Colmcille and St Oliver Plunketts Owen Rua. With two teams looking to get up to Senior 1 level today. Getting through to a final alone will guarantee that you get promoted, as Temple Oak Sing Street did yesterday. We have a Whitehall team that was just relegated last year. They're looking to go straight back up. They beat Scully Connell by 13 points in the quarterfinals, so they're flying at the moment. On the other side, Plunketts last year, they had to win a relegation playoff against St Anne's to make sure that they didn't drop down to the third tier. But here they are now 12 months later, looking to go up to the top division, and they beat St Mary's Saggart by 2-12 to 1-12 in the quarterfinal. And I'm joined by Coleman Goggins to talk about the two teams. Coleman, what are you looking at? What are you expecting today? It was raining very, very heavily up to maybe about a half hour ago, but it seems to have calmed down.
Yeah, very greasy surface, so they're going to be challenged in terms of the control of the football when they get their hands on it. Probably contrasting in terms of where the teams have been at over a number of years. Whitehall were contesting a senior quarter-final here, Senior 1 quarter-final as you mentioned, and Plunketts maybe have struggled to get any bit of momentum, be it 10 years ago or more. They were very competitive at senior level in Dublin and were close to winning a Dublin county final at that time. So it's great to see them performing again at this this level and getting back to probably what people would expect from Plunketts in terms of delivering on the field. And then obviously with Whitehall, they have a household name in terms of Cormac Costello, and a lot revolves around what Cormac Costello brings to the team. But ultimately, the prize, I think you called it out, is to get promoted to Senior 1. So the final is the icing on the cake, really. The battle today is to get that position in Senior 1. So while semi-finals in the Senior 1 grade are only getting you a place in a championship final, which is a big deal in itself, really the big prize is today. Can you get yourself Senior 1 for next year? And you'd expect both teams to go hammer and tongs in chasing that. OK, well, let's go through the teams now. Starting off with Whitehall. In goals, Stephen Lawless. A full back line of David Worley, Josh Thorpe and Ty Kellett. In the half-back line, number 5, Rory Kearns, Eddie Moran, senior hurler, I should say, for Dublin, a panellist there, and Dara Scanlon. In the middle of the park is Matty Moran and Sean Foran. A half-forward line of Oisín Murray, Cormac Costello, who you've mentioned, and Adam McDermott. And up at the top end of the pitch, Tony O'Sullivan, Keith Campbell and Luke McCarthy. Then on the other side, St Oliver Plunketts Owen Rua. In goals is Gavin Bruin. A full back line of Michael McManus, James O'Donoghue and Adam Keating. In the half back line, another Keating, Liam, Craig Dunleavy and Neil Clerkin. Then a midfield pairing of Jack O'Shea and Ben McSweeney. Conor Tyrrell, Garrett Nesty-Smith and Sean Bugler is an exciting half-forward line. And on the inside line, 13, Irnel Papa, Paul Brogan and Tom Cullen. Yeah, look, but there's loads of attacking threats there. That half-forward line that Plunketts have has lots of pace and power in it. Garrett Smith's a long time on the go, but still delivering for the team. And then Bugler, obviously representing Dublin, is going to be the go-to man for Plunketts. Looking at the middle of the field for Whitehall, Matty Moran and Sean Foran. Sean Foran has played underage for Dublin teams, so you'd expect a little bit to come from the middle of the field, and a big competition for ball. A lot of pressure, I'd say, be placed on kickouts, and probably the big question is around that middle area, who can get their hands on the most amount of ball and actually feed the forward line to see if they can get those scores. Given that this first touch is going to be critical, given the way the surface is after the rainfall we had here, if you can secure a bit of possession in that middle third and feed it into the inside line, there's definitely scores available if you can get it in there. Yeah,
and looking at that Whitehall Colmcille bench, there's plenty of talent there. Jamie Raftery is a very exciting hurler. People might have seen him score a goal last week against Lucan Sarsfields. Sean Gannon, who's been a dual player underage with Dublin, he had a very bad cruciate injury last year, but he's back. Paul Kelly, Mayo man, is in there as well. And on the other side, there's plenty of quality players as well. I noticed Ted Furman there. There's plenty of quality on both benches. And what do you think will be the determining factors in this game today?
Yeah, I think because of the greasy surface, it's going to come down to making as few mistakes as possible. So that's not taken away from any of the teams playing. Obviously they've lots of ability and lots of potential, but because of the greasy surface, if you're a millimetre off with your pass, it's going to slip on the ground, it's going to run away, it's going to take a huge commitment. There's going to be a lot of dirty ball. It's trying to get underneath that, win it, get it away and secure it. So just that handling is going to be critical. Winning the dirty ball is going to be critical, and trying to be as precise as possible. Obviously a big loss for Whitehall is Lee Gannon, who's been missing all year, but you mentioned the bench, the impact from the bench. Like you're 30, you get to half time, you get into that second quarter of the second half, that's when you're hoping to see an impact coming off the bench. And if you can add to whatever's happened by coming off the bench and giving into the team, then you're giving your team an opportunity to win it. So look, it'll be an interesting open 15 minutes, see what way the team's set up. There's no real breeze to speak about. I think the rain has killed all that, so apart from a slippy surface, hopefully we'll see the ball moved a bit.
And by the looks of it, Sean Gannon will be starting for Whitehall Colmcille. You can see him in the middle of the pitch there wearing number 20. He broke his hand in the first minute of the quarter-final against Skull a couple of weeks ago, but he's out there, he's braving it, so fair play to him, because there's no way of avoiding using your hands in a game like this. He's going to go through the pain barrier.
100%. Maybe he's the cast under the glove there, but we'll see. We'll check that as we go along. Yeah, look, he's a great win inside now, gives you another option. They've a decent, power inside. Keith Campbell's a big man. If they can get ball into him, he's every chance of, creating trouble inside as well. So it looks like they're probably going to try and isolate Cormac Costello a little bit of the inside line and then see how they fan out around him. Plunketts look to have a change as well. Looks like their number 23 is going to start inside there, which is Conor Walsh, big guy in front of the goals as well. And another change there, number 21, Ty Adamson as well.
And number 17, Gerard McCormick here in front of us. So plenty of changes, and we'll try and monitor who's been left out as we go along. But referee Ronnie Malone is ready to throw the ball in. And we're underway here at Parnell Park. And the first contest is won by Plunketts, number 8, Jack O'Shea. He's going to look to get a quick free away, which he does, to his teammate Ben McSweeney. And Ben has been chased, and eventually he's fouled by Tony O'Sullivan. So an early opportunity for Plunketts to get their names on the scoreboard.
Yeah, good win in the middle of the field. It wasn't the same kind of pulling and dragging you expect. I know the Football Rules Committee are considering just 2 in for the throw in. But the 4 got away with it there easy enough. Good tap down, nice movement of the ball. Good chance for Garrett Smith. Generally very consistent with his place ball. I've surely put the mockers on him with that, but let's see how he goes.
He's about 35 yards out here, central position. Like you said, not a breath of wind as things stand. Winds up with the left boot, and that looks good. The umpires go straight for the flag, so 1-0 for Plunketts. They've got their names on the scoreboard early here.
Yeah, nice opener for him, nice free for Garrett Smith to get going. Well won, moved the ball well inside. Pops it over the bar. The warning shot is there. Don't foul inside 35-40 metres, because you're just going to give opportunity to Plunketts to get scores from place balls.
Josh Thorpe spills the ball, but he's okay to go again. Now Luke McCarthy, they call him Lemo, on the ball, patient, and works it back across to number 7, Dara Scanlon. And that's switched across field to Adam McDermott, who finds Rory Kearns and goes again. A looped left-footed kick pass inside, and it's plenty of work for Cormac Costello to do, and it's like a greasy bar of soap at the moment, but Costello has the quality to hold on to it. He's on his left. Will he pull the trigger? No. Well, he does eventually. And the 2 umpires look at it and they agree that that's just gone to the right and wide. So a first attempt for Cormac Costello, who was very impressive against Lucan in the hurling quarter-final just last week.
Yeah, great. Okay, you might be disappointed with the finish, but took on the defender, then created that bit of space, and he won that inside the corner, came back across to try and create the opportunity for himself. So he's shown a bit of go forward momentum on the ball there, which is great to see.
Yeah, Jack O'Shea probably overcommitted there, and Sean Gannon wins the free, which he looks to pump inside, and Costello is surrounded by defenders, but he manages to get on it and puts it straight over the bar. Just Costello showing his quality straight away.
Yeah, that's a brilliant score, because he makes a move inside to go short for the ball, but he actually then comes back around, so there's 2 defenders there trying to mark in front, but he did a lovely loop to get back on himself, popped it on his left foot. 2 shots, 1 score.
Bruin now with a kick out, which he hoists up, and Matty Moore manages to get a hand to it, so it's going to be a sideline ball for Plunketts. Jack O'Shea is going to take. Patient play now. Here's number 23, Conor Walsh. Plays it inside to Nesty Smith. And Smith inside to Paul Brogan, but that spills away. It's still with Plunketts. They're going to work it around to the far side, perhaps. It's McSweeney who won that early free. Will he make another burst? Instead, he gives it to the number 12, Sean Bugler, county footballer. And he just buries that straight over the bar with the minimum of fuss.
Yeah, just held back on his run, came into the play a little bit late to give the option on the ball there. So as he turned around, McSweeney was able to find Bugler, pop it over the bar.
Lawless's kick out is cut out by number 21. That's Ty Adamson. Does well to turn that over. Plunketts now just keeping one up top in Paul Brogan. He's been marshalled by Josh Thorpe. And referee Ronnie Malone unimpressed by Sean Foran's intervention. Now Bugler plays it inside to Smith, but again the ball is spilling away. It's going to be tough to hold it today.
Yeah, but it's a straight line free, so like as a defender, you're all day. Great ball chance here to get on the ball.
Yeah, Eddie Moran with a first time kick inside to Cormac Costello. Couldn't get it up straight away, but he might have a second chance. He doesn't. He feels that the defender picked it up off the ground. I think that was Oisin Murray, but we're going to play on. McSweeney wins the free from Foran. So that was an opportunity for Whitehall to get in behind, but just the ball wouldn't stick. It's going to be difficult for players today with the amount of rain we had earlier.
Yeah, but a great run by Eddie Moore, and generally tends to do that, gets ahead of the ball, tries to pick up those breaks. We've seen both ends there though, the free where the wet ball obviously bounced off it, and then the other end just couldn't get control of it. So conditions having an impact and the rain starting to fall again.
Bugler is under serious pressure from Dara Scanlon, but he retains possession. He's inside the 45. Here's Paul Brogan. Number 23, Conor Walsh. Now McSweeney, not for the first time, makes a burst up the field, and he won a free that was converted earlier, and now he's got a point of his own, 3 points to 1 to Plunketts.
Well, he's been involved in the 3 Plunkett scores, set up the free initially, gave the pass to Sean Bugler that came off his shoulder, and then obviously pops over his own there. So great opening 5 minutes for Plunketts, and particularly for that man in the middle of the field, Ben McSweeney.
That's Luke McCarthy. And the rain is coming down once more here, so that won't make things any easier for the players. Ty Kellett. Luke McCarthy, who looks for a kick pass over the top, which does stick, but that shot from number 14, Keith Campbell, drops a little bit short. So Plunketts are back on the ball. And they're patiently working it out. Smith has the ball now. And Bugler. Those two managing to get a bit of interplay going early, Coleman.
Yeah, well, they're key figures for Plunkett. You know, they're both very experienced, very comfortable on the ball. McSweeney again making inroads.
Yeah, and now it's Conor Walsh, who's going at Josh Thorpe. Now to Ty Adamson. Goes back to Liam Keating, and then Nessie Smith once more looking for that kick pass inside to Paul Brogan, who's outnumbered. And Eddie Moran just does enough to get a hand on it, but it will be a 45 for Plunketts.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Brogan would have got to it, but I suppose the defender couldn't take a chance. He was looping in behind him. If it had dropped into his hands, then he's probably couldn't turned on goal. You know, very patient from Plunketts. You know, very clear to see, even as the players moved up the field, they're playing with 2 forwards, Whitehall, but there's 3 defenders, so Plunkett's well aware that the danger lies in Cormac Costello inside. From a Whitehall perspective, they're trying to get the ball into him as early as possible. Probably a little bit further out in terms of where Plunketts have opportunity, the way Bugler and Garrett Smith are playing, and then they've the option of Paul Brogan inside if they look for it.
A few players offering for a short ball if Smith wanted to play it, but instead it looks like he's going to have a pop. This to go 4-1 ahead. He's caught it sweetly, and the umpire goes for the white flag. That's 4 points to 1 with just 7.5 minutes played, and certainly Plunketts have settled early here, Coleman.
Yeah, they've been very comfortable on the ball. They're very good at what they're doing. They're putting a little bit of pressure on the kicker if it comes long. When they get it away short, they're doing okay, Whitehall, but Whitehall just haven't been able to break that line from midfield to the inside line where they've Cormac Costello just struggled initially in these early few minutes.
Foran back out to McCarthy, who's come back deep to get on the ball plenty of times early in this game. Foran goes long this time, and Costello is out in front as always, but again the ball just breaks away, and for the defenders today it's just a case of getting a hand in, and you can't turn that ball over. And then when you have Sean Bugler carrying it out, you're going to get on the front foot quickly, but Luke McCarthy's been able to cut that ball out very easily, and you can see the players are struggling with the underfoot conditions. Now Foran, he's looking for the crossfield switch to Sean Gannon, but that's cut out. And Gannon is not impressed. And it's a kick pass inside from Adam Keating. And here's It's an opportunity for McSweeney, who makes yet another burst inside. Brilliant opportunity to score a goal, but he puts it straight at Stephen Lawless, who does really, really well. But from there, that needs to be scored.
Oh, what a goal scoring opportunity. A great move up the field. There was a crossfield ball that was never on, that was cut out. There was a bit of frustration here in the sideline from one of the Whitehall selectors. They were roaring that you need to get back and help out defensively. There was a gap there. They all breached the gap. But when the ball fell to McSweeney, it was almost like he didn't expect it to fall into his lap. Great ball inside. Absolutely brilliant. McSweeney kept running, but I'm not sure he was expecting the pass. Goalie did well, he stood strong I suppose, but needs to go low onto the ground there. But a huge goal scoring opportunity for Plunketts left behind.
Here's McSweeney once more. He's been so involved early doors. And Whitehall need to get a foothold here, get another score or two on the board, Coleman.
They're just struggling to have any impact when they're not on the ball. So you look how easy it is for Plunketts to move the ball. There's no tackle, there's no hit. They can shift it left and right. They're not really doing any particular job apart from tracking out. Good hand in there that time.
Yeah, and Tyke Kellett tries to get a foot onto it, but it's with Plunketts now and Nesty Smith. Is he going to overcarry? No, the referee says play away. And eventually it's a free. McSweeney again, his fingerprints are all over everything. Good for Plunketts.
Remarkable 10 minutes. Like everything that he's touched has either led to a score or a scoring opportunity, and he's been really instrumental from Plunkett's point of view. So much going through him, and yet Whitehall don't seem to have got to grips with the impact he's having.
Here comes Adam Keating. Played that lovely ball a little while ago to Liam. And McSweeney once more. Little pop pass, but again it's cut out, and not for the first time. It's Luke Keating getting on, or it's Luke McCarthy getting on the ball, I should say. Now it's Eddie Moore, the county hurling panellist, and that's cut out. You can hear one of the selectors for Whitehall, Anto Holly, saying through the hands. And they're probably just giving up the ball a bit too easy. It's been either cut out or it's not sticking up top.
Yeah, but they've only one option inside, so they were looking for a pass through the eye of a needle there. There was 3 Plunketts defenders, so it needs to be spot on. We mentioned obviously greasy surface, greasy boots. You know, to be precise today is practically impossible, but you just need to be better with what you're trying to do. And if it's not on, you check and pass it through the hands.
Plunketts are owning the ball just at the moment. It's Ty Adamson. And McSweeney carries it into contact but manages to retain possession. Craig Dunleavy does well under pressure, and Conor Walsh again. Here's the number 10, Conor Tyrrell. And once again, Plunketts managed to convert, and that's a bit of a blow for Whitehall, because yet again it's a score for Plunketts. That's 5 points to 1 early doors. And what can they do to turn this around?
Yeah, they're just not getting physical enough. Plunketts are able to move the ball at ease there, and even when Ben McSweeney took them on, the tackle wasn't strong enough. He was able to break the tackle. Centre back moved through there, Craig Dunleavy, and it opened up again a little bit of space, and it was a great score because he checked back onto his left. So Plunketts are setting up a little bit differently. They're dropping back. They're going to start making contact in around the 45-metre line and see if they can get a turnover from there. Whereas Whitehall seem to be sitting back and waiting to see what happens rather than trying to force a decision in Plunkett's direction.
It's Dara Scanlon now. It's Tony O'Sullivan. Across to Rory Kearns. It's Sean Gannon. It's patient build up from Whitehall, and eventually it's a kick pass inside. A lot of work for Keith Campbell to do from the corner there when he's been hounded by James O'Donoghue. And Scanlon comes back to help. And there's that bit of interplay now, and here's Adam McDermott, who has a chance to clip the ball over the bar. It hits the woodwork, but it does get there eventually. So 5 points to 2. That was a very important score, Coleman.
Yeah, and practically 10 minutes since they got their opening score, so it just settles the nerves a little bit. They were struggling to make any bit of penetration, but a great turn on his run, went one direction, turned inside. They were able to find the pass. Referee not happy. I think he was looking for a mark. No, it's a free. Sorry, I thought he was penalising against a mark that wasn't taken.
Neil Clerkin has the ball anyway. He scored a goal the last day. And Jack O'Shea gives it back to him. Max Sweeney for the umpteenth time, and Sean Foran leaves the arm in for a little bit too long. Foran is a groundsman at Croke Park and Abbottstown. Now it's Bugler. Jack O'Shea does well. Craig Dunleavy. Now Conor Tyrrell, who scored that fabulous point just a couple of minutes ago. Long solo here from Adam Keating. It's opening up for him. Conor Walsh gives him back the ball, and eventually it's coming close to Paul Brogan, but he can't get on it because Cormac Costello, who's dropping deeper and deeper in this game the last couple of minutes, he manages to turn it over, and it's Rory Kearns who's played it upfield to Sean Gannon, and Whitehall have Plunketts backpedaling big time here. And Gannon eventually has a shot. It's going to drop short to Keith Campbell, who almost manages to palm that into the back of the net.
Yeah, probably a couple of goal chances there. Campbell did well. The goalkeeper committed to come across the ball, so was lucky a defender was tracking, although I'm not sure it would have hit the net. Great work underneath us here in terms of the tackling. But the other end of the field, from a Plunketts perspective, definitely looked like if they had held the pass maybe 2 seconds longer, it would have created the space. They just seemed to pass the ball a little bit too quick, and they almost caused themselves to lose the goal chance rather than any great defending. Has to be said, great work by Cormac Costello getting back, helping out. Max Sweeney once again driving through. Yeah,
that must be the 4th or 5th free he's won at this stage. We'll go back to that last chance. So that's Gannon's shot, which dropped a little bit short. Campbell did really, really well.
He did
probably
well,
going wide.
Probably going wide, but the defender did well to cover back. But again, there's a lack of support up there, so all he could do was stick a fist on it, hope he got it on target. A yellow card.
Yeah, Sean Foran. I think just one foul too many at this stage. Bugler goes short and it bounces off Conor Walsh, but it's back to Bugler as he enters the 45, being chased by Dara Scanlon. Dunleavy and Clerkin. Now it's Brogan who looks for the clever little kick pass back towards Dunleavy, but it's cut out. Now it's Luke McCarthy. He has pace. And Max Sweeney manages to get a hit in there, dislodge the ball, but it's still with Whitehall. Now it's McDermott to Foran. And now Tony O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan, he's going to go on his own, being chased by Paul Brogan, and that's good enough. That's straight over the bar, and all of a sudden Whitehall are straight back in this game.
Yeah, when there's space there, they're well able to play in it. They've probably just been suffocated a little bit, so they haven't had the opportunity to do it, but a great score. You can see, you mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, when there's that bit of space, Plunketts are backpedaling. It's very hard to defend that. When they're set up and Whitehall are slow with the ball, it gives Plunketts a much better chance of dealing with it. That time again, they just broke the line, created a bit of space, and a great score.
Great kick out from Bruin, straight to Bugler, who calls the mark and immediately transfers it to Nesty Smith. He's now looking for an ambitious ball into Conor Walsh, which he does eventually make stick, and looks for a really intricate kick pass over the top, and brilliant work from Dara Scanlon to deny Bugler. So there's little sniffs of goal been, at either end so far coming.
There is lots of space, in fairness, and both teams are trying to exploit that. They're popping little passes in. That doesn't look good for the two guys inside. Both seem to be hurt after they coming together there. Give physios maybe a chance to have a look at them, but great movement inside that almost created the goal scoring opportunity.
Foran gets onto a kick, gets his kick pass away, and now it's Sean Gannon wheeling away after Matt Moran fed him the ball, and it's 5 points to 4 from 5-2 down. It's now 5-4, 5-1 down. In fact, great return over the last 5 or 6 minutes there. 3 scores without reply. They were 5-1 down after 13 minutes, and they've cut the deficit to 1. Not looking good up the far end for the two guys who came together there. We'll see on maybe the goal scoring opportunity, but a good response from Whitehall. We were being a bit critical that they were struggling to do the right thing, but again, the movement from Foran there as he came across to create the scoring chance. Just lovely kick pass over the top, and
just the way the two came together there. Maybe
clash
Sean
of legs
Bugler might have
maybe.
twisted an ankle or just got a bang on the ankle.
Yeah, he's trudging back out now, gingerly, but there's a price to be paid when you're out here fighting for promotion. Himself and Scanlon give each other the low five.
I move like that nearly all the time. he has some reason to be hobbling like that, in fairness to him.
Now it's Bruin. He goes for that intricate little kick pass. It's cut out by Rory Kearns, who gets it straight to Cormac Costello. He turns his man. He's in on goal. And eventually it's a beautiful left-footed shot low across the keeper into the back of the net. And Whitehall shoot out in front. Brilliant goal.
Yeah, brilliant goal. He gave the eyes, but it always was going to be Cormac Costello who was going to take on the goal-scoring opportunity. As soon as he gets it here, he's thinking goal. There's nothing else in his mind. Takes a play of the ball, he's looking across, then comes back onto his left and into the corner of the net. An absolutely brilliant finish. He was never going to pass that. We seen him early on in his first ball. He held on to it from the corner. When he was that close to goal, he was definitely...
And Clerkin now looking to bring Plunkett straight back into this game. Now it's Nesty Smith. Jack O'Shea. And that finds its way back to Liam Keating. Looks for a kick pass inside. Plunkett's never shy about putting that kick pass inside, and Conor Walsh again offering himself for it. And he's on the loop, being faced by David Wearley. But he puts that straight between the posts, so an immediate response from Plunkett's.
Yeah, great move. He stayed involved in it after winning the first time, just comes back around. Sean Bugler made a run, created a little bit of space, came back onto his right, popped it over the bar. Great response. They'd been a couple of minutes without a score, almost 8. So good to get one going again.
Now it's Ty Kellett. And McDermott. Now it's Gannon, whose brother Lee is out of action due to a hamstring injury. And Scanlon and back to Gannon, who carries it himself, and he's tugged back by Liam Keating. That's going to be an opportunity for Whitehall to add to their tally.
Yeah, it took them 15 or 20 minutes to get going. I wonder just before the start of the game, they were out in the when it was lashing rain, and maybe they just didn't get themselves set properly. I'm not blaming obviously the rain. Plunkett started a little bit better than them, but over the last 5 to 7, 10 minutes, they've actually grown into the game and are be much more composed on the ball.
So Costello out of the hands from about 35 yards. And you could see the goalkeeper looking upwards straight away, so you knew that was going to go over the bar, and that's Whitehall 1-5, Plunkett 6.
Yeah, the last couple of minutes has been, the last 10 minutes or so has been very good for Whitehall again. Free well won, Sean Foran just patient on the ball. Cormac Costello came looking for it, eventually got the free, knocks it over the bar.
And Whitehall have pressed up on this one. So Bruin goes long on top of McSweeney, and it's spoiled by Foran, who gets in a second time. And there's a bit of pinball going on, but eventually Kearns has it, and not for the first time. He looks for a kick pass, but it's intercepted this time. That time by Jared McCormick. Clerkin back to McCormick. Doesn't have too much available in front of him, so he's going to hold on to it and turn back. Smith. And the scores have really dried up, Coleman's, for Plunkett's.
Yeah, they have a bit of a problem there in that they had so many drawn back that they had nothing on between the, we'll say, 65 and the 21 metre line, so therefore you have no option but to go sideways or backwards. So that then slows it down, gives Whitehall a chance to get in behind the ball. And what Whitehall have done better in the last 10 minutes is they've pushed forward a little bit. They're putting a bit of earlier contact on, which isn't allowing Plunkett's then that time and space they had in the opening 10 minutes. So much better from Whitehall and how they've applied themselves in the last 10 minutes. You probably can't see it on camera, but there's a huge gap. So you're looking at a 40-yard pass. It's not ideal conditions to be trying to do that, and this is what you're going to get as a consequence. You're over carrying because you have no option. Yeah,
and good pressure from Whitehall in the centre of the field, and it forces Jared McCormick to over carry the ball. So Whitehall back in charge, 2 points ahead, promotion at stake today, and of course the place in the final against Temple Oak Sing Street. The 2 finalists get promoted, 2 will go down from Senior 1. Rory Kearns free here, and Sean Gannon feeds it out to him. Kearns links up with Costello, and Costello's going to go at Murray. Or Tyrrell, I should say. And Kearns again. It's patient from Whitehall. Eddie Moran. And Foran. Foran goes for a banana shot. He did it in the warm-up, worked quite well, but in this case, it's just drifted a little bit wide. That's a second wide for Whitehall Colmcille.
Yeah, it did so much right there. Maybe just the wrong option that time from Foran. Maybe could have held on to it and moved into the space ahead of him rather than taking it on so early. But again, much more patient on the ball, Whitehall, than they were in the opening 10 minutes.
It was good work initially from Ty Kellett, but still it comes away to Plunketts. Nessie Smith wins the race against Luke McCarthy and plays a lovely ball inside for Paul Brogan, who can go at Josh Thorpe, and he's like a bull in a china shop, and it looked like he was going to break through, but the Whitehall defenders did just enough there.
Yeah, well, I was saying that they don't have much of an out ball, but they got the two people in the right spot there. The first ball out to Garrett Smith, he popped it into Brogan. I think he was probably fortunate initially, seemed to take a good few steps before he actually took a play of the ball. Referee felt there was nothing in terms of the tackle, but half a goal chance maybe.
That urgency in the scrambling defence from Whitehall there is just kind of ties in with that bit of pressure they're putting on the ball in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, they're just not allowing the same time. It's kind of flipped, Plunketts now are kind of standing, looking, watching a little bit.
Costello's deep and giving the ball to Kearns, who's happy to carry it towards the D. He has David Worley outside him, but cuts back himself. And he gives it to Costello. And Costello unleashes a shot with his left foot, which just arrows straight over the bar. Cormac Costello's on fire in this opening 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's a serious score. Rory Kearns is causing big problems for Plunketts. Sean Bugler obviously is dropping back to help out, so the space inside. This is just before that. He's certainly taken a good few steps. When he takes a hop of the ball, it's a good hit. I don't think there's anything in that the referee has to give. We see the result of that from maybe the far end in terms of Cormac Costello's score, but it's Rory Kearns who pretty much remains unmarked throughout. So every time Whitehall get on the ball, there's an option on this left side or the near side as we're filming from here.
And it was Kearns along with Josh Thorpe who managed to foil Brogan at the other end. And to go straight from coast to coast and get that score from Costello as well as a double punishment for Plunketts, who do have the ball once more, Clerkin. Again, there's a wall of Whitehall players coming to meet him. Nessie Smith with an ambitious ball over the top, and Brogan is out in front again, and Josh Thorpe is looking to foil him. But Brogan does pretty well to keep that ball. Now Jack O'Shea. And again, there's pressure coming, this time Ty Kellett, and the ball eventually makes its way to Ty Adamson, who winds up for a shot, but a disappointing finish there, just dragged to the left and wide.
Yeah, I think it's their first wide. They've been pretty good when they've got in front of goals in most instances, maybe apart from the goal chance that Ben McSweeney left behind early on when they were in control at that stage or on top at that stage. Just the way that they're set up, they're just allowing a free man pretty much all the time for Whitehall. If we watch how this develops potentially, if Rory Kearns comes out, he's going to find himself free again on this left side of the field, so there's always opportunity, albeit they are looking to move the ball inside as early as possible.
Now Ty Kellett, Foran to Scanlon. Eddie Moran and Kearns again, who's always happy to go with that kick pass. And good work from Tyrrell to foil Costello, but Whitehall still have it. Now it's Costello. And Tyrrell as always. Close by. That's fed inside to Sean Foran, and he missed a couple of minutes ago, but this one is straight over the black spot. And Whitehall are certainly finding the top gear in the last few minutes.
Yeah, brilliant again by Cormac Costello. Came out deep, although he lost the first contact in terms of the initial pass that went into him. He picks it up, comes back around, pops it to Foran, and this time backs himself inside of the boot rather than the outside of the boot and gets another nice score for them. Since the 15th minute or thereabouts, they've really dominated the scoring.
Adam Keating now. Since going 5 points to one ahead, it's just been one score for Plunketts in the intervening time, and 1-6 for Whitehall, so it's certainly turned on its head here.
Yeah, remarkable really.
Yeah, a great pressure there from Matty Moran.
But look how much earlier the pressure is. In the first 10 minutes I was being critical because they were just sitting back and trying to wait and watch something happen. They've been much better in the last 15 minutes, pushed forward, squeezing the ball all the time.
And Conor Tyrrell managed to get a hand to that ball, and it would have been danger for Plunketts if Costello had to get his hand on it. He's already got 1-3, 1-2 of that from play. No doubt the standout player here so far. He finds Campbell with a nice little kick pass inside. And maybe James O'Donoghue left his arm in a little bit long, but referee Ronnie Malone lets them play on.
Yeah,
So-
I think Campbell slowed up, gave the fullback an opportunity to get in around him. If he'd attacked at more pace, he probably would have won the ball.
And McSweeney, who started like a house on fire, probably hasn't been on the ball quite so much in the last 10 minutes.
But again, big, huge gap. There's only one inside the 65 for Plunketts. Just a second gone in now, Ben McSweeney. So they don't have huge options. And even the pace coming from behind isn't as fluid as it was in those opening 10 minutes.
The half an hour is just elapsed, so we're in added time now. Adam Keating. And Tyrrell. And Walsh, who spent much of the half playing inside, plays an ambitious ball towards Smith, but in the greasy conditions that breaks away. Worley did well. Now it's Sean Gannon. And there's plenty of space up top if he wants to kick it in for Keith Campbell. Instead he goes to Costello. Costello takes a generous amount of steps but gets away with it. And Gannon probably a little bit too casual, looking for the flick up. And now Plunketts have a chance to catch Whitehall on the break, and by hook or by crook, Sean Bugler gets that ball over Luke McCarthy, and eventually he converts. A really good score for Plunketts, because at this stage, coming into half-time, Coleman, they have been struggling for scores, but to get something like that from your county player, that can lift the team.
Yeah, great score. And I mentioned the space that's been probably afforded to Rory Kearns on this side of the field. Sean Bugler obviously is exploiting at that time. He's deep back the field, comes on the end of the move there, shifted inside, came back on to get a great score, and an important one just before half time, and actually the final score of the half. Good response given they've struggled in the second 15 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, just 3 points between the teams at half time as Ronnie Malone calls for the ball. So plenty to discuss for Ger O'Connor in his second spell as the Whitehall manager as they go in at half time. Willie Hughes will probably be trying to discuss with his backroom team what's gone wrong in the last 15 minutes, because they were so on top. But they're 3 points behind coming into half time here of this Senior 2 Go Ahead Dublin semi-final, Go Ahead Ireland I should say, semi-final here at Parnell Park. We'll be back in another 5 or 10 minutes to give you all of the second half.
Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
We're delighted to extend the partnership with Go Ahead Ireland. They're an organisation that serves communities all over Dublin and helps serve our club members around the county, and it's been a brilliant partnership for the last 3 years, and we're delighted to extend for a further 2 years.
Like us, Dublin GAA are bedded in their community, so it was a really natural fit. For us, it was important to find a partner that was inclusive, but also had that community identity, and that's exactly what we found in Dublin GAA. Since we started the partnership, they've been really easy to work with, and we're really excited to continue the journey together.
In those 3 years, we actually accomplished a lot with Dublin GAA. We were privileged to be able to work with both local and national charities with them, as well as working on several GAA initiatives.
This partnership allows us to support club league and championship and initiatives such as our Dubs TV live streaming platform. We try and stream as many games as possible, particularly during the championship season where we can from a logistical point of view around grounds, and that is something we will continue to try and deliver over the coming years and keep enhancing club championship product and club leagues around the county across all 4 codes.
In the coming months, we're going to be continuing growing our services. And while we do that, that means that we'll be serving more GAA community clubs than ever before.
This year alone, we're going to be introducing the Development Fund for Accessibility as part of our partnership, which is going to see core infrastructure at Dublin GAA developed. In the summer, we're also introducing the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin LGFA Summer Skills Camps, which will be held in July and August.
As Dublin's best performing public bus operator, we're going to continue to work really hard on delivering for our customers and our communities.
One of my favourite places to grab a coffee in Dublin is Bua. It's one of these kind of COVID coffee trucks that popped up and it's kind of developed into this bit of a social hub. I'll always find myself being drawn back to social fabric. It's just a beautiful place to go. They always have consistently good food there. Bar 1661. So I love watching them make the cocktails, shake it up, garnish it, serve it. Howth village itself is a lovely little kind of seaside town. The Gravity Bar up on the top floor of the storehouse, and it's just an amazing place, an amazing view of Dublin City. Definitely visit Temple Bar and take in what's there. My advice would be to try your best to see other parts of the city. Brian Fenton, this is my Dublin.
It has to be Tang on Abbey Street. You can't beat their flatbreads with the chickpeas and spicy chicken. It's Irish owned, great food, great people. Shoe Lane beside Tara Street train station. It was close to Trinity where I went to college. They have nice croissants, fruit scones. If you're ever looking for a quiet place to go and chat with your mates, the Snug and Chaplin's has to be the go-to. Lovely old interior. Just have to get the dart out to Vico Baths, bring the swimming togs, go for a dip, and you get a lovely view of Killarney Bay. The Epic Museum, I think it's something nice to just figure out the history of the city. You have to go and visit a GAA or hurling or camogie game. It's the most amazing atmosphere. It's going to be an unforgettable experience. Cian O'Sullivan, this is my Dublin.
Tribeca in Ranelagh. I had to go with my family, it's a favourite of ours. Definitely recommend trying their wings. The Metro Cafe, it's a great spot for people watching, especially when it's sunny outside. An oat milk cappuccino would be my go-to. The atmosphere in Devitt is always brilliant. We've had plenty of team nights out there, always great crack. The Timber Trove Cafe in the Dublin Mountains, it's a really cosy family-run cafe. Family House would definitely be a must visit. They have monthly markets on which are gorgeous. I would advise you to walk around the city because most of the main attractions are close by and you can get there quicker on foot. Eoghan, this is my Dublin.
Kyo's Cafe in Portobello. I really like going back just for the vibe. It's nice and chill, people are really cool. Trails Cafe in Ticknock. The coffee is really, really good. Americano, small bit of milk, and you're good to go and hit the trails. Blue Light is always a nice roaring fire. We tend to go up after All Ireland final week. It's a really nice place to be. I'd recommend getting out to Poolbeg Lighthouse. It's a great walk out. You get a great view back of the city. If you get the chance, I'd go up to Ticknock, go up and rent a mountain bike. Trails up there are pretty cool. Bring a raincoat, a shower's never too far away. Orla Nolan, this is my Dublin.
My first memory of GAA would probably have been in Croke Park with my father. That would be in the early 1950s.
As a young lad brought down to watch one of my brother's matches.
Playing under 10 hurling, and I say hurling not camogie because I played on the boys team.
My feeling about the GAA was more a social one than a games one because I thought it was a great way for all the kids to get to know each other.
Mum and Dad always brought us up to have each other's backs. We'd all go to each other's matches. No matter what we were doing or playing, we'd all support each other. I'm playing for the club 37 years I think now, but I also coach my 2 daughters' teams.
It's great. It really is a great feeling to have the kids down there. And now all of their friends are beginning to come from the same community and the same focus on the club, so it's a mirror of what happened to me in my childhood, I suppose.
We made more friends down the years and had more fun down the years than ever we would anywhere else.
Mum fostered that through us as well. She was chief bottle washer. She'd have jerseys upon jerseys out in the line.
3 of my offspring are married and they met their better halves through the club.
The friends and relationships I got out of it. Looking back, that was really what the GAA was about. Community, about building relationships with people. My name is Mick Galvin.
My name is Mary Galvin.
My name is Phil Galvin and my family roots are in St Bridget's GAA Club.
Ground Force probably is the absolute heart of this club, both in their ethos, the amount of work they do, and just the pure love they have for Naomh Marnoga and the GAA in general. In simplest terms, we probably couldn't function without Ground Force.
I suppose the GAA was always a bit more than hitting the ball or hitting the schlitter, you know, and it gave a great sense of community to people.
I suppose at my age, fear of retirement, worried about the unknown, what am I going into a home under my wife's feet all the time or something like that, and then we just got this men's initiative started off. We feel that we're giving something back to the club that gave so much to us. We come up here on a rotary basis and line pitches, cut grass. It kind of empowers us as well if we feel valued.
We're all friends, we're all retired, we're all around the same age group. Some of us have nothing outside of our work, and Ground Force has been a big change for everybody from the mental well-being point of view. It's really, really important and really significant, and there is great camaraderie amongst the group.
So I think there's about 30 odd men in this initiative that comes up to the club and has a chat, and the coffee is important as well. We sort out the world, Dad.
Yeah. Or most of it.
Yeah.
That's what it means to me, just achievement and pride.
We met down at Fairview, and Kieran's brother was a friend of my brother's. We met through them, so when I was coming up to the Devs, I invited Kieran to my Devs. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes, so long as our firstborn child played for Vincent's. And he says, okay, grand. It's great to have our family involved as well. I suppose if the kids weren't as interested in it as we were, it'd be very tough on us.
Kieran's are playing Vincent's. The tension in the house is gas. Mum is obviously Vincent's and Dad is Kieran, so Mum always claims that she'll give John steak for dinner and she won't feed Kevin. But it's always a bit of a laugh, but I suppose no one takes it too seriously.
She had her hands full. She could have got the job as a bus driver. The amount of dropping off and picking up she did from matches around. Leaving some matches early to go to another match to make sure she got the end of that, or make sure we all got the same amount of attention. There was no favourites.
It means everything. I don't know what we'd do without it, to be fair. We eat, drink and sleep it.
It's always through the family like the rest of us. There's not enough spoken words, I'd say.
I know my whole life at this rate.
We're very proud parents. That's a huge achievement to have 100% of your family still playing. We're proud of them all, every one of them.
My name is Niamh Heatherton.
My name is John Heatherton. I'm Kieran Heatherton.
I'm Patsy Heatherton, and as a family,
our roots are set in the GAA.
Welcome back for the second half of this Go Ahead Ireland Senior 2 Football Championship semi-final clash between Whitehall, Colmcille and St Oliver Plunketts, Eoghan Rua. Whitehall on top in the first half. After starting slowly, they were 5 points to 1 behind, but it's 1-7 to 0-7 as we're about to throw in for the start of the second half. Looks like substitute is coming on for Plunketts, so Willie Hughes isn't going to wait too much longer to change things around. Ronnie Malone totting it in his notebook, so we'll just have a check and see who that player is coming on in a moment. He's picking up Adam McDermott here at wing back. That's number 18, Ian Geoghan. The ball's thrown back in. Ben McSweeney wins it straight away, and now it's Jack O'Shea. O'Shea with the kick pass inside, and Walsh carries the ball. Nesty Smith looks for a kick pass over the top to McSweeney, who wasn't initially looking at it, but he's managed to field it, and he's running into a little bit of trouble. Sean Foran all over him, And now there's a runner, which is Clerkin. And Clerkin inside to Jack O'Shea, who has a one-on-one chance against goalkeeper Stephen Lawless, who was given no opportunity to get anything on that. A brilliant start to the second half. 30 seconds on the clock coming, and it's a level game.
Yeah, level game. I'd question a couple of decisions there. Looked like two hops of the ball initially in the move, and then they looked like an overcarry of steps. In fairness, referee let play run on. Ball pops in. Looked like he was going to go one way with the ball. Stuck it into the corner. What a response. We've been critical in terms of their scoring output in the second quarter of that first half as such, but a great opening with a goal. Tie it all up again.
So Whitehall, I'm sure that have made plans for the opening few minutes, keep it tight and so on. Ger O'Connor no doubt will be getting that message across, but they've conceded straight away. Now they had a bad start to the game initially and they managed to recover, so can they do so again? Eddie Moran and Foran. Now it's Campbell. In case you're only joining us, winning a semi-final will be enough for promotion to Senior 1, and obviously there'll be the silverware on offer when the winner faces Temple Oak Sing Street. It's Conor Tyrrell doing well in the corner. He's been chased by a number of Whitehall players, and eventually it is spilled out over the line, so Whitehall will have an opportunity to work an attack. Sean Gannon looks like he's going to take it. A man who broke his hand a couple of weeks ago against Scully Connell in the opening minutes, but he is out there playing today. And Tony O'Sullivan doesn't gather the ball cleanly, but it's back to Gannon. Gannon being chased by McSweeney, who gets a great hand in there. And eventually Adam McDermott comes in a little bit too roughly and wins, and it's Ian Geoghan who wins a free. And the goal scorer, Jack O'Shea. And Geoghan again. And now Craig Dunleavy has open country to run into. He's got a couple of forwards shown for him, but instead goes short to Smith. And Smith, he looks up for a kick pass, but nothing doing. So he goes short to O'Shea. Now McSweeney, who's under a bit of pressure and has the ball dislodged by Keith Campbell. And now it's Foran battling with Paul Brogan. And Brogan probably leaves his arm in a little bit too long. Now it's Matty Moran.
Great hit on Ben McSweeney there. Looked like they were just getting a bit of momentum. Plunkett's got it turned over Whitehall.
Nice run from Ty Kellett on the outside of Carl McCostello. And Kellett doesn't have too many options. Didn't fancy the shot on his left foot. And goes back to Costello once more. Now Gannon, cross field to Scanlon. Nesty Smith has got some treatment by the physio at the top end of the pitch. McDermott unloads a shot from about 30 odd yards, which screws just to the left and wide. He apologises to the players on the inside line. So that was a first opportunity in the second half for Whitehall to get a score, and it didn't come off.
Yeah, referee might just hold it up a second. Garrett Smith looks like he's hurt a calf or something on the lower end of his left side there, which would be a huge loss if he does have to leave the field. He's looking to get on ball. He's looking to try and create. He was looking for a pass down the left side. In fairness to Conor Walsh, he was trying to shift across the other side of the field. So he is looking to try and influence the game and get involved more in the game. So a bit of sticky tape hopefully will fix him for a few minutes, keep him on the field for as long more as he can, given how important he is to Plunketts.
And Plunketts, even though like the second half of that first half, they did definitely, they were rocked for the 15 or 20 minutes. Their accuracy has kept them in this game. From 10 shots, they've scored 1-7, so they are dangerous when they get up there.
Yeah, they've been very good in front to goal when they've gotten those opportunities. Probably left one or two behind them. Just looking at the way Garrett Smith is moving there, could find himself under pressure here. Yeah, I don't think he's going to survive.
He looked to get away from Luke McCarthy there, but nothing doing. And he's hobbling. Now it's Jack O'Shea, the goal scorer, and he was looking for McSweeney inside. Instead it comes to Conor Walsh, and now Paul Brogan, who has time to steady himself, and he pops that ball over the bar. And for the first time since midway through that first half, Plunketts are out in front.
Yeah, good score from Paul Brogan. He's stayed involved in the game as best he can, I suppose, to try and get in and get a score over the bar. You think of the first 50 minutes of the first half, Plunkett's totally dominated, went 5 points to 1 before Whitehall came into the game. don't think Whitehall can allow themselves another 15 minutes without getting scores, or only one score, so it's going to be important they're trying to get themselves back into the game as early as possible here.
Nessie Smith, he is going off now. The physio indicated to the sideline that he can't continue, so Ernal Popa, he's onto the pitch. Sean Bugler had gone over for a chat with Willie Hughes, his manager, maybe some little tweaks to how they're going to play in the second half, but they started really well. It's 1-1 in the second half, but that is a huge loss, losing Nessie Smith, who of course played for Cavan in previous years. And Luke McCarthy under a lot of pressure from Paul Brogan, and that ball has been turned over, but McCarthy does brilliantly to get back in there, but then it's a foul from Eddie Moran, and it's going to be a free for Bugler and for Plunketts, and they have an opportunity to go 2 points ahead. Without Nessie Smith on the pitch, they're going to have to look to someone else to pop this over, and Bugler's holding on to the ball, so perhaps he fancies this opportunity.
Yeah, just question the kick out. I know they're looking for a short kick out, but the keeper gets it up a little bit higher. It bounces into the defender's arms rather than having to go into the corner. You have Paul Brogan breathing down your neck. He gets you a good rattle over at the sideline, manages to turn things around. In fairness to Whitehall, they put a hit on him. Bugler drops it over.
Yeah, you can hear the round of applause behind him. So that's 1-2 early days in the second half, and Plunketts are 2 points ahead.
Yeah, and it just came from that pressure I'm speaking about with Paul Brogan there. Put real squeeze on. They get a free out of it because of a poor kick out. And mentioned at the outset, just how critical, important the decision making is during any game, but particularly when the surface is as wet as that.
Oh, it's Ty Kellett. He's got options. One of who's Tony O'Sullivan, and he's been harangued by Clerkin. Now it's Luke McCarthy, and a very high arm from Clerkin. He'll certainly see some breed of a card here, probably yellow, but that was a little bit reckless.
Yeah, in fairness to the Whitehall player, he jumped back up off the ground. He could have made more out of that because it was definitely a high wrap on the tackle there. Very high, led into it very high as such. We'll certainly pick up a card if we just get to see it again. Yeah, it's a bad wrap, but in fairness to, as I mentioned, Whitehall player got up, got moving again. Referee's decision is a yellow card. Chance for Cormac Costello to open Whitehall's account second half.
Costello, one of 5 players starting today who was hurling last week against Lucan. So they're certainly been tested physically as well as anything else. Their schedule. And Costello looks frustrated straight away. You can see he's did a little mini stamp on the ground, so he's frustrated with that, and Whitehall's still looking for their first score in the second half. Bruin goes long into the mixer, and it's turned over, and here's McDermott, and he's been pressed by Ian Geoghan, and it's back to Kearns, who was influential in that first half. Now Kellett with McCarthy outside him, and it is McCarthy, looks to pump a ball in, and that looks like it's going to go wide. Campbell gives chase, but it does go out over the end line. So in the second half, Whitehall struggling to get on the score sheet, and the option taken probably not working so far.
Yeah, I think you've said it there. It's options. I mean, certainly the wrong option there. You're over on the side and you're trying to cut a ball over the bar from 40 yards when there's no real requirement to do it. Again, a poor kick out.
Yeah, and that's picked up off the ground by Ian Geoghan. Difficult one coming at him at speed. You don't see too many kickouts just fired along the grass like that.
No, but it just, if you think of the kick out prior to that when Sean Bugler got the free from it, was a one tiddling along the ground. You're going to have to bend in those wet conditions. Not as easy to get it under control. So it gives Costello a chance to make amends for the one he put wide a couple of minutes ago.
About 40 yards out. He's put plenty of height on that, and straight between the posts. So Costello does narrow the gap. That's a really nice score for Whitehall, and cheaply enough, after a kick out was picked up off the ground by Ian Geoghan. Whitehall won't care how. And they're on the front foot once more. Costello again. He's nudged, but no free. And Gannon probably goes in a bit too eagerly.
Yeah,
James, so I don't know who cute enough.
Sorry, I think Cormac Costello was looking for a pass across the field and then got caught in two minds, and asked the referee's going to hop it up.
Yeah, he lost patience with Conor Tyrrell. So it's going to be a throw-in. Matty Moran is ready to get in there, and Jack O'Shea. And eventually it comes out to Greg Dunleavy, so Plunketts get the ball back. It's Ty Adamson, and now it's Bugler. And Brogan back to Bugler, who's got Scanlon in front of him. He unleashes with his left foot, but he looks up into the sky, so that was an early indication that the ball was wide, so that's a let-off for Whitehall. And just a second wide in the game for Plunketts.
Yeah, very good in front of goal. I think Bugler just in the last couple of minutes has kind of set himself on the top of the D there, so they've just changed how they're set up Plunketts a little bit. Admittedly, they need to get the ball up to the guys, and Sean Bugler's such a good ball carrier that it's hard to think that he'll stay there for the duration of the game. Couple of subs coming in for Plunketts. No, not yet.
Yeah, number 22, Ted Furman. Yeah, he's gone back out to the sideline. Eddie Moore, uncontested, is about to carry out this kick out. He finds McDermott. McDermott has Clerkin in front of him. Oh, it's Costello and Foran. Rory Kern's been urged to take on his man. He has a nibble, but then goes back. And Gannon runs into traffic, gets dumped on the floor, but he retains the ball. Foran eventually goes for an ambitious kick pass over the top. A really accurate one too that Tony O'Sullivan gets his hand to. But he has plenty to do. He goes at his man, but he's turned away somewhat. Eventually gets it into the D towards Sean Gannon, who's under a bit of pressure. He manages to bounce it on the ground, but he's going to do well to retain it from there, which he doesn't. Ben McSweeney has the ball. And now Plunkett's looking to work it out, but Cormac Costello is working incredibly hard. Too hard, says the referee. And then McSweeney buries the ball against Ty Kellett. And the substitutions are about to be made now by Plunkett's.
I've been impressed with Ben McSweeney. He's had a good game. I know he quietened out a little bit in the second quarter of the first half. But anytime he gets on the ball, he's generally doing the right thing with the ball. He's not afraid to take on players. He's able to deal with the physicality in terms of some of the tackles that have come his way. So he's had a good performance for Plunkett. Certainly he's one of the shining lights for them today.
Yeah, Paul Brogan looks like he's going to be heading away, and Ted Furman is taking his place. Also, number 24, Jack Carroll is in, and Ty Adamson is being withdrawn. So Plunkett's emptying the bench. 17 minutes to go here. They're a point ahead with promotion at stake and a place in the Senior 2 final.
Yeah, and Ted Furman will bring a little bit of pace inside for Plunkett if they can get ball his direction.
Conor Walsh is shown for this one. It's a tough ball to claim, but he does manage to do so, and he sees a runner on the outside who's Jack Carroll, but it's Furman instead. Furman tries to feed it inside to Carroll, and the referee lets play go on. Walsh eventually has his attempt, and he looks pretty disgusted with that, and it's gone wide, 2 wides in a row for Plunkett's when they had a really good opportunity to get on the scoreboard once more.
Yeah, there was a goal chance there. We mightn't get to see it back, but there was definitely a goal chance. Just a couple of wrong options taken that left the goal chance out of their hands as such, and then they kick a bad wide as a consequence.
Now it's McDermott on the front foot being chased by Bugler. Kellett to Kearns. Kearns is running into trouble, but he does really, really well to hold on to the ball. Conor Tyrrell all over him once more, but Kearns does well. He gets it to Costello, and Costello almost does the splits. And still Whitehall have the ball. They've done very well there to come out with possession. Now Kellett has space, and he looks to kick it inside, and Gannon does well to get out in front, win that ball. Now it's with Foran, who has a chance to unleash a shot from about 25 yards out, and that's over the bar. Level game after 45 minutes.
Well, it mightn't be the prettiest at times, but that's a great score. Great work, great ambition shown by both sets of players, I suppose. There's big hits, there's tackles. It's a dirty, wet ball to try and get your hands on. Foran comes in at the end of the move to knock it over the bar. Whitehall coming again. Oh.
Yeah, that's Gannon. And his attempt is foiled, and now Plunkett's have a free out. And you also saw that goal opportunity that Plunkett's had a minute ago. So instead of pushing clear, it's now unbelievably tight coming into the final quarter. Dunleavy looks for an ambitious kick pass across the pitch, which Conor Walsh gets onto. And now it's Popa and Furman, who has options, and he looks to take on Josh Thorpe. And then McCarthy. And Thorpe once more, but takes too many steps. And it's a free out for Whitehall, Colmcille.
Yeah, I think Ted Furman is unlucky there. There was definitely a high tackle in the initial contact, which probably could have been a free in. Referee allowed it run. Probably the correct decision then on the basis of the steps that were taken, but I think he was probably fouled in the run up to it. He did brilliant to knock it over the bar despite the pressure. It was a great ball out and a great take by Adam Keating in around his own area with one hand despite the conditions.
Brilliant kick pass across the field from Eddie Moran. And Sean Foran works the ball back to him. Moran has space to run into. And he's going to have a go from 40 yards and puts it straight over the bar. That is a brilliant score. So much of that work down to Eddie Moran himself.
Yeah, we mentioned him at the outset in terms of the way he gets forward, that momentum that he gives the team. Again, he got in the end of a move. Even when he gives a pass and he's not really in the move, he stays running and puts the Plunketts defenders under pressure because he's bringing himself into the play. Good response, 3 on the spin from Whitehall.
Plunkett's under pressure, but Ian Geoghan does well. Wins a free. The loss of Nesty Smith could be crucial here for Plunketts.
Yeah, he is a central figure for Plunketts, there's no doubt about it. He's very good on the ball. He's going to find the right pass. He's going to show for the ball a good bit. So to take him out causes them a problem up front. You've obviously lost Paul Brogan as well, who's quite an experienced player. But they still do have options. They probably just need a few more runners coming at pace from that middle area of the field to try and just break the Whitehall line. It's just a little bit too easy for them to defend at the minute. Here's a bit of space.
Yeah, Conor Tyrrell being chased by Cormac Costello, and Costello gets a hand in, gets it in a second time, and then Tyrrell leaves a leg in on Rory Kearns. Tyrrell is unimpressed, but it's a free to Whitehall all the same.
Yeah, brilliant work rate again. For young guys or girls watching there, that ability to win the ball back. You have no chance really of getting there, but he sticks at the, chases him down, gets the right hand in, doesn't give away a free, turns over the ball, and it's that work rate that obviously feeds momentum to any team.
And Campbell's under pressure, manages to dive between Walsh and Clerkin and gets himself a free. So much at stake coming into this last 12 minutes plus injury time.
Yeah, and well in the mixing for either one of the teams to come away with a result. Whitehall that little bit better in the last few minutes. We've seen they had a good 15 minutes in the first half. They're probably looking to build on that, but Plunkett's will sense there's something here for them if they get ball.
Thorpe. Eddie Moran to Costello. It's patient play from Whitehall. Costello involved in everything, directing traffic. Now Thorpe looks for an ambitious kick pass inside. And Gannon calls for a mark, but that ball hadn't been delivered from outside the 45. Now it's Tony O'Sullivan. Gets away from James O'Donoghue. Quick 1-2 with Campbell. He's running out of road, and eventually some good work from Craig Dunleavy. And Plunkett's escape on this occasion.
Yeah, maybe just didn't back himself on his left foot there. They brilliantly to create the chance. They were out wide, cut it down. Oh, turnover.
Yeah, Carroll looks to put a kick pass through the eye of a needle, and it's eventually blocked down by a combination of Luke McCarthy and Sean Foran. He gives away a free, looking to probably over-eager after making a mistake, compounds that error, and it's going to be a free which Cormac Costello will be odds on to put over the bar and make it a 2-point lead.
Yeah, I can see what he was trying to do. There was a run ahead of him. He was just trying to stick it under the legs or in the gap, as you rightly pointed out, but missed it, turns it over and hands the ball over to Cormac Costello. 1-2 in the opening couple of minutes of the second half, but they've struggled to get anything, create anything up front in the last 10 or 12 minutes or so. So it's a big challenge for Plunketts to try and see where they're going to get scores from.
Yeah. Dual star Jamie Raftery, he's on. And also Oisin Murray. Campbell and Kearns, they've been withdrawn. Costello, as ever, does the needful, and that's a 2-point lead for Whitehall Colmcille. And after scoring 10 of their first 12 efforts, Plunketts, they haven't scored for some time now, and Their last 2 attempts have been wides, and they've lost Nesty Smith, so it's an uphill task from here.
Yeah, they're just struggling again up front to try and create those scoring opportunities. They're putting themselves under a little bit of pressure with kick-outs, and Whitehall just sensing maybe there's a chance now to go and win this game.
Yeah, they're on the front foot now, and Costello, he has options in front of him. Now it's Moran, who scored a brilliant point a couple of moments ago. This time it's to the right and wide from distance. A little bit of a let-off when Whitehall have Plunketts on the back foot, maybe pulling the trigger from 40 yards.
Yeah, but they're right squeezed up again. They're not trying to give them an easy out ball, so if you're good enough to win it in the middle of the field, win it, but we're going to compete for everything here, which is a great attitude. Great take, Ben McSweeney.
McSweeney's had some big moments today, including that. Frees move up 10 yards because Matty Moran wouldn't withdraw himself. Now it's Bugler. And Carroll. Clerkin now. He runs into a lot of traffic there. Tries to negotiate it, but it's turned over by Worley. And now it's Raftery. He scored a brilliant goal against Lucan Sarsfields in the hurling last week. Now it's Gannon. Kills the play, puts the arm up. That signal that we've seen from so many teams over the last few years coming.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
No.
But, you know, I don't think it means anything. Yeah, look, they're kind of dominating possession. They don't need scores. Obviously, they're winning by 2. They take them if they came. You know, getting right guys on the ball is critical for Whitehall now. So who are your scorers? Can you get them the ball, and can you just build out on the lead that you have?
Now it's Raftery. He's got plenty of speed. And Gannon also. Gannon pulls the trigger, and it's to the left and wide. So another let-off for Plunketts.
Yeah, they're leaving the door ajar by leaving those score chances behind them. They've 5, I think it is, wides in the second half, 4 from play. Well, that gives you a nice comfortable lead heading down the stretch here, but the game is still in the balance. Admittedly, Plunketts are struggling to create anything up front at the moment, struggling to win ball in the middle of the field. Another one given away, I think.
Yeah, and it's going to be Murray on this one. Now it's Scanlon. And the positioning of Sean Bugler so high up the pitch, would you be tempted to withdraw? I know they want him from that scoring presence, but...
Yeah, they're probably sensing there's a goal if you can get him the ball, but great pressure there to win the ball, but they'll be moved up a little bit. You know, if it comes down to a point game, 2 points, you have to bring him back to field, but you're then asking him to carry the ball, kick it up high enough to nearly run after it and catch it, which is an impossible task.
There's Bugler 55 yards out now, giving it back to McSweeney. Conor Walsh. Kick pass across to number 18, Ian Geoghan. Geoghan is surrounded by Whitehall jerseys. Ted Furman now on the ball. And McCarthy comes to him. And McCarthy, he's probably undone a little bit by the experience of Furman there. Drew the man and spun when he was in contact, and eventually gets that free awarded by Ronnie Malone.
Yeah, probably no reason or need to give away the free there, but you know, Furman was running into trouble. He was going to always have to turn back on himself. Probably a risk there that he's looking to pass off to Bugler, who has the pace to break through. But a good opportunity here to narrow the gap, given it's 15-16 minutes since they've got a score. It's a big kick for Ted Furman, brings it down to a point game. You can put a press on the kick out. You're well in contention of getting a break. Score.
So just 1 point between the teams now, and there's 6 minutes of normal time to go. Maybe there'll be a little bit more added on. That's what we want, tension in the final stages here with promotion on the line.
Yeah, great kick out.
Yeah, Stephen Lawless finds Oisin Murray. Excellent kick out. Now it's Scanlon, who's driving forward. Jack Carroll is chasing him. Now it's Costello. Costello surrounded, but still managed to get the hand pass away. And now it's Jamie Raftery. And Raftery finds Matty Moran. Moran goes at McSweeney, and it's back to Raftery, and he's blocked down. Brilliant work from the Plunketts defenders. Now it's Jack Carroll. Season on the line, big blocks like that are huge.
Yeah, great block, great commitment on the ball. Oh, Sean Bugler, the player you'd want to be winning the ball out from goal like that, just loses the grip on it with the wet, slippy ball. Maybe took his eye off it looking to turn, because there's so much space inside if he'd managed to win it.
Well, Whitehall will be delighted to profit from that. Tony O'Sullivan gives it over to Luke McCarthy. Eddie Moran spots Raftery, who has Ty Kellett offering on his outside. Who eventually gives the ball to Costello. Foran outside of the boot to Tony O'Sullivan. Sullivan has a couple of players coming. He's backing himself. And a beautiful kick over the bar, putting Whitehall 2 points clear with just 4 minutes to go. Really nice score here, cutting between a couple of players.
Yeah, dropped two of them. There was no one really took ownership of trying to get a block on it. Left the two behind him, came round the corner, popped it over the bar. Big score, pushes the gap out to 2. 4 or 5 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, that's O'Sullivan's second of the game. Luke McCarthy, he's withdrawn.
Got to win possession here. Plunketts need to get on the ball.
Keane Ashmore is on the field now for Whitehall. Now Bruin gets us underway once more. And it ends up in the hands of Ashmore. He's eventually foiled by Craig Dunleavy. Looks for an ambitious kick pass up the field, which Popa gets onto. He's chased by Sullivan, who just had that score. And he fouls and Popa wins that free.
Yeah, beautiful toe lift to get the ball off the ground. I'm talking about the surface and how difficult it is. No challenge there for Popa to get underneath the ball, get it lifted, and that put O'Sullivan under pressure. Great work to try and get back and stop the play. Again, chance to narrow the gap. Much tighter angle for Ted Furman. This is where you'd be missing Garrett Smith. Left foot, he'd come around the corner there, probably steal 5 yards and kick it over the bar for you. So tough one for Furman.
He does manage to pinch a yard or two, and he pinches it in between the 2 posts, so just a point between the sides, and an immediate response from Plunketts, who coming down to the last 3 or 4 minutes of this game. It's important to get on the scoreboard straight away, and a brilliant kick pass yet again from Stephen Lawless over the top to Josh Thorpe. Thorpe has Matty Moran outside him. McSweeney will look to get back across, and it ends up in the hands of Cormac Costello, who doesn't control it initially, then fires a shot across the post, which does drag wide. Now normally you'd back Costello there, you wouldn't blame him for having a go, but that's a disappointing finish.
Yeah, 6 wide, and just when you want to set nerves again, push the gap out to do, you leave the door open with the 1 point deficit. They haven't been brilliant from play, Plunketts, in this second half. 3 frees.
Really well held under pressure from Clerkin.
Great take, huge pressure. Still time in the clock here. There'll be at least 3 minutes. You'd expect additional time to the 60 minutes. Point game. Just want to create something. Give yourselves a chance of at least getting a point to draw the game.
If you're Whitehall here, do you sit back or do you press up?
No, I think you play the ball as it lies. Put a bit of pressure on. Great move from Bugler. Can he get on it?
Yeah, didn't stick first time again, but he does manage to hold it and touches it on the ground. What do you think, Coleman?
Yeah, I'm not sure he did. I think he managed to keep himself up off the ground, but I give out about referees anyway, so they probably won't listen to me.
Oh, we can't.
Oh,
can't
well
quite
done.
see there.
The cameraman did brilliant. Won't let us see it. Controversial issue. Done. I thought he had held himself off the ground, but look, referee makes a call, and I think Plunketts need to push now. They need to get the ball off Whitehall. Can't afford to let them come out the field.
Yeah, huge relief for Whitehall there to get away scot-free, and brilliant kick pass over the top to Worley from Cormac Costello. Murray to Matty Moran, and Moran takes a hit but stays going, and eventually the ball's turned over. So a let off for Plunketts, but they worked really hard. They made their own look there.
Yeah, brilliant tracking back. Just when he thought he had broken the tackle he was in, and he got a big shoulder, put him under pressure to retain the ball.
Popa won that free a couple of minutes ago. He does really well there to commit a couple of defenders, but the ball is gifted away by Bugler. He's had a couple of errors in the last few minutes, and it just hasn't been his day. Well, certainly second half. Now Raftery using that pace he has. He's in the spin and comes out on the wrong side of it. Now it's Bugler who has a chance to make another positive contribution. Number 20, Dennis McSweeney. Back to Bugler. And Plunkett's looking for a slower build-up, going back to go forward. And a good hit from Jamie Raftery on Ian Geoghan, but the referee doesn't agree, so it's going to be a free.
Yeah, I think you could see it coming all day long, bent slowly to the ball there and then took the hit. He was bending after he trying to just, regain. He lost the ball in contact when there was probably no need to go into it. So, look, they're still winning by 1. It's for Plunketts to get a score.
Clerkin has Adam Keating outside him. Here's McSweeney. He's had a big day. Cormac Costello isn't going to give him anything easy. Popa. And it's Costello working hard once more. Popa does really well. Carroll. Tyrrell. He's been faced by Adam McDermott. Tyrrell unleashes a shot that may not go over the end line. Eventually it does, so that's a very wild attempt. And Whitehall breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, they might get one more chance out of it. 61 minutes on the clock. Goalkeeper be told to hurry up, or at least he's stopping the watch to give a chance. So it's all bodies forward. Put a squeeze on the kick out. Can you win it in around the middle of the field?
Yeah, Lawless taking his time, going the scenic route to get that ball. He's been brilliant with his kickouts in the last 20 minutes or so. He aims for Matty Moran. And a glut of bodies go up there and eventually breaks to Keating. And so Plunketts do have an opportunity to work a late leveller. We're deep in injury time now. Almost 32 minutes gone. It's Walsh. And on the burst comes Dunleavy. He has a chance to pop it over the top to Furman. Could be the right man in the right place at the right time. He lets a left-footed shot go, but it's just to the left and wide. Whitehall survive.
Yeah, I think he was calling that maybe had gone over the bar, but definitely from our angle it looked like it came this left side of the post. Great run from Dunleavy to create the space. Popped it into Furman. Maybe just the first touch wobbled on him. He wasn't able to get himself set quick enough. Does the referee have 30 more seconds on the clock?
He's telling Lawless to hurry up. Lawless puts it into the mixer. It's a full press here from Plunketts. They need to win this ball, and they had won it, but it's on the floor. It's a contested ball. Costello is there. Safe pair of hands. And he gets bundled over by Clerkin, who's already on a yellow card, so we'll see what the referee will do here. Ty Kellett showing Clerkin that he's not impressed. So this could be a second yellow.
Yeah, I'm not sure how big the contact was, but it's certainly enough to get a yellow card, and that's going to see a second one of the day.
So Plunkett's only a point behind, but they're now a man down, almost 33 minutes gone. There surely can't be much left on Ronnie Malone's watch.
Yeah, more importantly, it's just time ticking away. I don't think the hit was as severe as maybe the crowd made it out on that side of the field, but it was late. It was always going to be a yellow card.
And Whitehall understandably go backwards, and that's the final play of the game. Whitehall are through to the go-ahead Ireland Dublin Senior 2 Championship final against Temple Oak Sing Street. They've guaranteed an immediate return to Senior 1 football next year by dint of just making the final, because 2 do go up. And for a finish, Coleman, were they full value for it?
Yeah, they probably were. I mean, like Plunketts struggled for too long without getting scores. If you do a quick scan in terms of timelines, they were 5-1 up after 12 or 13 minutes, then struggled to score again until the 21st minute, and then again in the 31st minute. So there was those big gaps, and then particularly second half, they came out storming at the start of the second half. Had 1-2 after 37 minutes, but then it was almost 20 minutes before they got another score. So I think losing Gareth Smith was a problem for them. They just didn't look as fluid up front in the second half. And in fairness to Whitehall, some of their go-to players really stood up for them in terms of more in the middle of the field, both Matty and Eddie at centre-back, and then Cormac Costello as well, who had kicked a couple of great scores, but was so instrumental in a whole lot what they were down for Whitehall. They were still in the mix, in fairness to them, probably kept there by some of Whitehall's poor shooting and some bad decisions, so probably Whitehall the better team, true and true, but Plunketts will be disappointed that they haven't managed to at least get a leveller and see if they could have brought it on another one.
Yeah, and 1-4 from Cormac Costello was crucial in this game. You can see that the celebrations aren't exactly over the top here.
I think is the word you use, is it?
Probably feel like we shoshould be getting back to Senior 1 and maybe pick up a title on the way, so they're not getting carried away just today.
Yeah, I suppose for Plunkett's own rule, they'll be disappointed because they've kind of been down in Senior 2. I mentioned the kind of history that's gone on with the club in previous years. They'd love to have got back up to Senior 1, and as a learning stepping stone curve for players coming through, Senior 1 Championship is different to Senior 2 because of the pace it's played at and what goes on in it. But there's probably a gap in terms of the top 5 or 6 clubs. and then you have the next batch that you can sit around where you might be able to learn a little bit and get some points as you're going through the championship. So look, Whitehall have been there up and down before. Plunketts will be missing that opportunity to go up, but while the celebrations are muted, there's no doubt it's important for them to hit Senior 1 and to go on into a final, as you rightly said, in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, and a big journey considering last year they were in a relegation playoff to go down to Senior 3, but they maintained their status and they made a really good go of it this year, getting into a huddle, I suppose, just to remind each other of the journey they've been on this year.
Yeah, and we've all been there where your season ends, so to speak. It's like, what do you do on Tuesday, given that you're finished now on a Sunday? But they've had a great year. They were very impressive in their group games. They've got to the stage of a semi-final where they're within a kick of a ball. They look back on some of the chances, particularly the goal chances early on that they didn't take, that would have seen them further ahead early in the first half. They just left the door open. And Whitehall probably had that little bit more experience and know-how over the course of the 60-65 minutes. Okay, well, there's the victorious Whitehall team. We'll have a look now at the scores from the match, some of the main highlights. Yeah, and look, we mentioned, I suppose, the opening that St. Oliver Plunkett's own Rua had. Really great opening. This was probably the team of the first half. They had Cormac Costello in front of the goal. They were looking to hit him early, but for 10 or 15 minutes, Plunketts didn't allow that happen. They kicked some great scores. Ben McSweeney, we mentioned, was involved in their first 3 scores. They created lots of chances. This was his own point that put it 3 points to 1 after about 5 or 6 minutes. So they really did start well at that stage. They dropped one short. Here was this great ball inside that created a goal scoring opportunity. I'm just not sure Ben McSweeney expected to grab it. Good pressure as well. Yeah, good pressure. There was great tracking all throughout in terms of work. Great score there as well. Connor Tyrrell, I think. Off his left boot from Connor Tyrrell. So at that stage it looked great for St. Oliver Plunkett's own Rua, but they just left the door open, and that was an important score. The second score that came from their wing forward, Adam McDermott, kind of opened things up again. While their potential then maybe as a goal chance there probably showed some of the limitations that Whitehall had up front early on. But again, these were some of the scores they were kicking in that opening half that showed the potential that they had. Again, a half chance for Bugler. Great defending, just got in ahead of him in terms of the hand. Great pop here, and then coming across on the loop, big score over the bar. Sean Gannon, yeah. Yeah, that was them then back into the game. They're now sensing that we're back in it. Turnover on it. There's only one thing on Cormac Costello's mind when he picks up the ball here. Once he steps inside, he's given eyes that he's going to pass. Never going to pass when he's in that close to goal, and he sticks it into the net at that stage. And the score then is 1-4-6. And at that stage, it was all Whitehall Colmcille. It was very hard for Plunketts to see a way back into the game despite that score. Costello kicked a free, and then he, another chance that came in terms of the chance for Brogan inside. Carried the ball a little bit. Good scramble defence again. Great hit, yeah. Really, solid hit on it. And then this boomer, left foot, never deviated in terms of the line. It left it from his foot, dropped over the bar. And then they wrapped up the scoring again. We mentioned some of the big players. Sean Foran doing well. Yeah, in around the middle of the field, the Moran brother as well. And then a breakaway score, I suppose, that wrapped up the half for them, and it was probably important. I love the way he just jumps inside by flicking the solo, and you're thinking, is there anything more coming? But he pops it over the bar, and it's 1-7 at half time. And then we said, look, they've got to come out and do something. I thought there was 2 bounces. I think there's steps here maybe as well that the referee potentially calls. He doesn't. But great finish into the corner of the net. And then Plunkett's are right back in the game from Jack O'Shea. Followed it up with a great point from play, and then another free. So they're 1-9 to 1-7. They're 2 points to the good. Yeah, that's Clerkin getting a yellow card for leaving the arm in on Luke McCarthy. Yeah, and not critical in terms of the time. He got a second yellow card, but obviously just picked it up at that stage. And that kind of turned the dial a little bit for Whitehall. They grew into the game. They scored 4 unanswered points at that stage. Again, great run from centre-back Eddie Moran here. Cuts through, was driving all this way throughout the game to knock it over the bar. That was 1-10 then to 1-9, and they stretched it out then, so they're 2 points to the good. Left the door open. Furman pops one over the bar. Then there's a brilliant score. He sends 2 of them. Well, I won't say he did. Just that there was no real ownership around it. Just knocks it over the bar. Furman has a chance then to narrow it to 1. And despite Plunkett's having a couple of chances, didn't manage to get that equalising score. And if we look at this one again, first touch maybe let him down. But again, great defending from cornerback Ty Kellett just to see him out and push it wide. And it's Whitehall who advance. And yeah, you've asked the question. Yeah, probably deserved on the merits of the chances they created.
Okay, so final score here at Parnell Park, 112 Whitehall Colmcille, 111 to Plunketts. So that's Whitehall promoted. They will meet Temple Oak Sing Street in the county final in 2 weeks' time here. So that should be a thrilling enough encounter based on how the two teams have been playing this year. Temple Oak doing really well to get across the line against Nave Baroque yesterday. So that's it here from Parnell Park. We'll also have coverage of Nafina against Kilmacud Crokes in the Senior 1 semi-final. The winner will play Coola in the county final in a couple of weeks' time also. So that's it from us here. Thanks very much, Coleman.